Hi, I'm Kelly at Book and Paper Arts, and today I'm going to make a new layout in my latest altered book. Sometimes when I do a black and white layout, I will alternate that with a color, black and white, color. And when I made an altered book earlier this year, a bunch of you wrote in and said, why don't you just make one that's all black and white layouts? Okay, I will. This book is going to be all black and white, all monochromatic. These are some of the pieces that I'm going to be working with today. And I'm going to go throughout and talk about the collage techniques and some of the mixed media techniques that I'm going to be using and making into a new layout. So please join me. If you like altered books, if you like journal arts and book and paper arts, if you like vintage paper, books, and ephemera, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and be sure to turn on the notifications, and you will have more of them in your life. Let's go alter a book. If you missed the video where I showed how I prepared this book by tearing out pages and then gluing others together, I have that video here on YouTube, and there's a link to it in the text box below this video, so you can see how it's done, how you prepare a book. I decided to start off this layout with this mourning envelope. Time was, if someone in your family died, you were in mourning for at least a year, possibly more. And because this is before email, it's before telephone, letters were an important part of your life, and your stationery, if your family was in mourning, would have this black border so that all of your letters showed that your family was in mourning. This is quite a piece. It's rather big. And I knew that I wanted to try to incorporate this into this layout because it's framed really well, size-wise and resolution-wise, format-wise. It's tempting to use this side with the handwriting because, I could work something into that. But in my altered books, I love pockets. And you can't have too many pockets or made in too many different ways. So if I put it in this way, backwards, I now am going to have pocket, pocket. And that means that I can put things inside that will make the book chunky and really a lot of stuff. More paper ephemera. So pockets, pockets. I'm not going to put in the whole envelope. It's pretty heavy, and that's going to chunk up the book too much right here. Sometimes, and I think it would throw off the whole book. Sometimes that happens if you, sometimes that happens. So we're going to not take a chance. Besides, I want to keep this. So I'm going to take this apart and see what happens. Now I have this piece for another project, and I can make my pocket from the back. I could just glue this across the whole 2 pages and cover the gutter here, but I'm not going to. Partly because this gutter is not lying perfectly flat, and that's going to have a knock-on effect here. And partly because I think that this paper would crack in time because of that gap. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half. So now I have 2 almost symmetrical halves. Pocket. I'm not going to pretend that they're actually meeting in the middle. I'm not going to cover up that gutter, and I'm not going to try to disguise the fact that this is torn. I think that's fine. It's just giving it a little bit of a more of a story. So I'm going to glue those down side by side, but not perfectly one perfect thing. What I'm going to do is glue down this side, and this side, and leave the top open so that I can put my piece in there. I already like how it's looking. I love it. Now I want to put something and decorate this space. It's a lot of white, a lot of blank space there. I originally had meant to go with some cathedrals. I have a bunch of these that I cut out from a book of cathedrals. But the problem is it looks good, and it will I'm pretty sure this will be showing up in a later layout. But the problem here is that if I'm going to be using this as a pocket and I'm pulling stuff in and out and in and out, these spiky little edges up here are unprotected, and they're going to go away. They'll get folded and bent and squashed, and it won't work. So it's got to be something that fits within this space. I have an absurd amount of black and white birds and animals. Partly because I got lucky, and partly because I collect old field guides and natural history guides. So again, now the trick is I want to find one that fits in this space. And I want two critters that are looking at each other so that it draws the eye, when you're looking at the page, it draws your eyes in. So you have one layout, not page, not bird, but one layout. So these guys are looking at each other. I'm pretty sure I'm going with this one because I like the his vertical posture, and then he also can sit on this bar as if it's a branch. So that works. I also like this, I would say it's a guinea hen, but it says it's a horned tragopan. Who knew? And they would be looking in the right directions, but I don't know. It's not working. I decided to go with this guy. It's a sloth. And again, this time it is working. They seem to be having a conversation or sharing a joke or something. It's working a lot better. And he's got the same vertical posture. And I like how now he's hanging from his perch at the top of the envelope. I'm going to go glue those down. I'm adding a line here, just in ink, on this diagonal line. It's pretty subtle, but it adds a little bit of contrast. And finally, I'm going to put something in the pockets. I collect mourning cards. That's what this is. This one's from 1911. And it says, remembering you in our prayers. And on the back side, it's got this engraving. Beautiful, beautiful piece. I like these because for me, these are like teeny tiny works of art. And this is another one. It's from 1886. And so when I put these pieces in the pockets, they mirror this border here for the mourning. But they're also very pretty. So I hope that offsets some of the heaviness. Speaking of, it's not symmetrical, but I have this little picture from 1906 of a boy in a sailor suit. I have this suit. I have the same one. And I'm going to add him up here a little asymmetrically, just peeking out at us. I just think that's really like a little top note there. And that is my layout. That's it. If you have any feedback or any questions, please let me know in the comments below, and we can compare notes. Join me tomorrow because I have a video on how to turn paper napkins into this beautiful, crispy paper. Coming tomorrow. Until then.